Let's see here. We put a picture on
Are you alive?
Instagram. Yes,
You do your show?
I will. Yeah.
What's it called when someone records shit like Aristotle does?
Podcast?
Yeah, what's that called?
We're just recording a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, recording a podcast.
He's not an engineer or producer?
Yeah, he's an engineer.
Okay.
Audio engineer.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah. I hear a cliff. I hear a cliff down the hall. So if I hit Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all at the same time, the show must go on.
It always goes on. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday. My name's Justin, and Cliff is entering.
Hello,
frame
everybody there. How are
right
you?
now.
The
Great to
ring.
see a lot of our regulars in the chat room. As always, at TheOneRing.net/live. Also on Ustream, you can watch us on an app. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, Meerkat, everywhere.
Indeed.
As
we keep
The
expanding.
One Ring Net.
Expanding our octopus tentacles like Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Hello. You guys are home and dry. And that's where you should be to watch the wonderful news and information and gossip mischief that we have for you today at TheOneRing.net. Torn Tuesday. I'm getting all chilly and soaking wet. You know what they're doing? They're scrambling outside at the very front of Meltdown Comics,
Yeah.
trying to rescue some of their paperback books and graphic novels.
Oh, the display out
There's
front.
a big display shelf
Because
out
it
front.
started raining, and under
now it's-
new California law, it's the only way to get your car washed is waiting for the rain. So
That is correct.
enough people in LA have their dirty
Funny.
cars, and
That's funny.
enough people prayed for rain, and thank Eru, it happened. You can text
That's
us
clever.
at 530-64-FRODO. 530-64-FRODO.
Frodo.
That's really our phone number. You can join the chat on Ustream or at TheOneRing.net/live. We just got back from Wondercon Anaheim, which is happening at the same time as HobbitCon Germany. And it was just a wonderful weekend down in Anaheim. So many people, 65,000 people.
Really wonderful to have that many excited, energetic people, and yet still, it was more manageable and easier to conduct business than it ever could be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Much more manageable. And the crowds were showing off their best cosplay.
And I got a ring from Badali Jewelry.
You did?
I did.
How beautiful.
The Badali Jewelry was there. They have just the most awesome stuff. They actually have an Arkenstone, and one of these days I'll get the Arkenstone
Yeah, well,
from Badali.
there was no Arkenstone at the end of the Hobbit film. I guess it ended up at Badali Jewelry's booth. Is that where it ended up?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, they have some wonderful things there, and they're great friends. You know, they wanted to come out and do karaoke last night.
Oh my gosh.
But I ended up not going out because I stayed up writing all night. I've been writing pages and pages and pages of something really delicious and quite big that we're about to publish, hopefully tomorrow morning.
Super exciting.
I don't know, how many pages have I gotten through, and I'm still writing. That's just pouring out of my fingers. And so we had to forsake the whole karaoke plan last night.
So we're going to show you some pictures of from our Barrel Rider photo booth, which was super fun to have.
This is my favorite one.
And then
this is great.
we can talk a little bit about what we talked about over a panel at the room 300 AB, the biggest room that they had, which we weren't expecting.
I was not expecting to be in front of 800 people.
I
Like,
know.
that was huge.
It was huge.
And nobody left. People kept coming in.
Yeah.
I was looking carefully. People kept coming in. Because when you're nervous about your panel, you always look a little side-eye over there at the door to see if people are wandering out because they're bored with your talk.
Yeah.
No one was bored with us. We had whooping and hollering, and we had clapping, we had laughter. We had a full house.
Yes, the rumors
really
are
did.
true. In the chat room, the rumors are true. Cliff has acquired the rights to the Silmarillion, and he's writing this first script to the Silmarillion
No.
seven-picture
Seven-picture
story.
deal. Actually, a huge, a huge first draft of the Silmarillion script has already been written by a good friend of mine, Ben Rice. He played Boromir in that spoof of Fellowship of the Ring that we did with Vic Mignogna.
Okay.
You guys know Vic Mignogna, obviously, because he's the voice from Full Metal Alchemist. He plays Edward Elric, the lead role. And you know Vic Mignogna from hundreds of other anime shows. He's a great voiceover artist. And, well, I played Gandalf in this crazy little parody video. Not as funny as what the Hillywood sisters do,
Yes.
but still a funny parody. And I had this great costume. And who played Boromir? My friend Mr. Rice. And he has already asked me to come and sit down, have a coffee with him, so we could do story notes over his Silmarillion script. He's been working on it for many, many years. So whenever it happens, I think he's going to be the first person in line to actually say, here's a spec script. I'm ready to throw my hat in the ring. He's a die-hard Ringer fan like nobody else I've met. He's a great guy.
We saw a lot of people at HobbyCon Germany saying they miss Larry. We miss Larry. We miss being at HobbyCon. How did we not be there?
You had a choice to either drive 40 minutes down to Anaheim or
Yes.
fly all the way around the world to Germany.
12 hours.
12 hours around the world and back.
And we're getting texts already at 53064. Frodo, may I be cast in your Silmarillion movie clip?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not mine. It's not mine to cast. But I tell you what, I will be involved with it somehow or some way in the future. You know, we took the easier route. We drove 45 minutes
Yes.
instead of flying
And we
6,000 miles.
And we tested a new booth layout. Instead of having a table in front and
Yes.
just sitting back all day, every day, just kind of waiting for people to come talk to us. There was
Which
no
is-
seats.
That's very passive to do it that way.
It was just kind of, it was a big open booth that
You need a
people could
walk-in
walk
space.
in. And we had wonderful conversations with fans about what they expected out of The Hobbit and how they think Silmarillion movie could work. I mean, it was
did.
just,
We
it was a
did.
lot more interactive. Plus, we had such amazing photos. Everyone was taking photos. Take a look at this.
I got a good photo of your booth with you standing in it.
This is every single cosplayer that came by the booth said they wanted to be a barrel rider. So here's Queen Ariel, the barrel rider.
Hashtag barrel rider.
Hashtag barrel rider. Just look it up on Instagram. There's so many pictures.
Even a couple of little old me, believe it or not. Yeah.
And
did you get in the barrel too?
I don't think I did. I was too busy taking everybody else's pictures. Look, there's Constantine.
That's funny.
Look
Really
at little Yoda and Darth Vader pretending that they're floating down the river. Yeah, super cool.
That's really cute. Really, these kids are so great. Do you think that you see better cosplay at WonderCon than you do at other?
There was some amazing cosplay. This was one of my favorites.
This was my favorite too.
This was
funny.
my favorite. Look,
Funny as
Alice
heck.
the barrel rider.
Yes.
So many entendres to have with that. Her costume was so perfect, and that was a well-made flower.
Huge, and this funny face that she made, it was just hysterical.
It's so good, so amazing. I hope that she finds us and tags us in her photo, because
She should.
I really want to know more.
Oh.
These girls were amazing.
Daft Punk. I love it.
Daft Punk.
I love that. That is so great.
This is so cool.
Daft Punk girls. I was just.
And they made those by hand.
They did?
Those are all custom made with LED light. Those are white LEDs that they put a colored plastic in front of. So and they just walked around as Daft Punk, and it was just awesome. I need some
I love
Daft
it.
Punk helmets.
Around the world.
And someone
around the
made
world.
these Nike Air McFlies from Back to the Future too. They glowed
That's
at
great.
LED. So
Those
amazing.
Are so cool.
And this was probably the best cosplay of the whole Comic-Con.
This
or
Keeley-
whole WonderCon.
This Keeley was fantastic.
Like, we've seen him before. He was at our Oscar part at the One Last Party.
He was.
And he is part of ER Collective, I believe is their name. And he is amazing. Like, the leather is perfect on that. They're just, I mean, I gotta totally respect that
Great
guy.
details.
And
Great
so
details.
many like Portal cosplays and so many other cosplays.
From the video games, from The Sims.
Raccoons.
Was that Rocket?
That was Rocket.
That might have been Rocket.
Rubik's cubes.
Rubik's Cube had to get in the barrel but couldn't quite fit. That's brilliant.
Wolverine.
Well, Lady Wolverine.
Lady
yes.
Wolverine.
Zoidberg.
Why not Zoidberg?
I love Dr. Zoidberg.
So good. So many wonderful cosplays.
That Dr. Zoidberg is funny.
And we just got a text message from someone saying, were there any Hobbit cosplay who went in the barrel? Of course, there were so many.
Indeed, there are.
Lord of the Rings cosplay.
I got this picture
There was
all of them.
elves and dwarves and men
and
elves. You know what I haven't seen yet, and I'm actually quite surprised. I haven't seen any bard cosplay.
Just this one.
Or
just this one. Just her.
Just her.
She did.
But
she was the only one I
fully
saw.
expect a bard / Captain Will Turner cosplay. You could pull off both. You could go to a convention and be Bard one day, and Captain Will Turner the next day.
All you have to do is to change your tunic and your cloak,
you're done.
and bam, you can.
You can have the same. They look exactly the same. Orlando Bloom in Pirates of the Caribbean looks just like Luke Evans in The Hobbit. So someone get out there and go do it.
That's been said more than twice. I think that
my visage does not allow. I tried that; it doesn't work. I don't look like Luke Evans.
Do you remember how much people said Thorin looked like a Klingon when we saw first early publicity
and
shots?
He did.
And at first he did.
Yeah.
But when we saw him in the movie, he didn't look like a Klingon at all. He really didn't.
Yeah.
But he did at first. We got this strange. But the Will Turner shakedown is even funnier when you see that famous picture of Luke Evans and Orlando Bloom together.
Yeah.
Outside the shores of Lake Town.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where you see the double Will Turner in the Inception mirror.
I expect some cosplay to happen, but so far it hasn't happened yet. Look, this was one of our wonderful barrel riders. So many people dressed as Bilbo Baggins. And the best part is not only did all these people have great cosplay, they had great attitudes. I mean, they were just having fun with it. You know, they weren't necessarily staying in character. They were just having a lot of fun being the characters. And look at her, how thick her painted eyebrows are on. I mean, it took a lot.
Noticed that.
It took a lot to get to Lee Pace level eyebrows.
During our presentation, I cracked an old joke about, Lee Pace's eyebrows, and everyone in the room laughed. I don't know why. I mean, I thought it was, by now it's a 3-year-old joke, but you had that.
Lee Pace's eyebrows are forever.
You say Frodo lives, Thranduil's eyebrows live. There's your new button, your bumper sticker for the next generation of Ringer fans. When you had that slide up of Thranduil, I said to the audience, I just made a joke about people with eyebrow fetish. I don't know what, but everyone laughed. And I don't think it's a funny joke anymore, but everyone loved it, so there you go. Oh, Cobra Commander.
And you know what?
Really?
Everybody loves barrels, even Cobra Commander.
So cute. That is so funny.
He was walking by and he's like, oh my God, barrel. He jumped in. I didn't even have to ask. He just jumped in and said, take my picture.
Isn't it funny how most everyone was willing to do the barrel photo op, but then one Benedict Cumberbatch fellow, he walked by. He was just a young kid dressed as Sherlock, but it was uncanny. Without prosthetics, without makeup, he looked exactly like Benedict Cumberbatch in every freaking way. He was a living clone, a doppelganger.
Really?
And I begged and begged. I said, Smaug, please, it's your turn to ride the barrel. It would be a funny irony. But he was too cool for school, and he couldn't be bothered to get in the barrel. But it was amazing how much he looked like Benedict.
Sherlock would be too cool. That guy was totally in character, because Sherlock is too cool to get in the barrel. He would tell John Watson.
That's true.
To get in the barrel.
He would tell Watson to do it. Oh, look, this Merida. Right. Merida looks beautiful. Merida, a famous role for Billy Connolly. We know him as Dane Ironfoot in Battle of the Five Armies, but in Brave, Pixar's movie,
he's Merida's father.
He's Merida's father, the wonderful Billy Connolly.
And she had the best facial expressions. There were a lot of Meridas.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Meridas at WonderCon.
That was nice.
But this one was the best. Yeah. Like, she had the facial expressions, and she had a bow. You don't see the bow here, but she was just absolutely amazing, and she owned the character. Look at the Sith Lord. This Sith Lord with her red lightsaber. And
so
her
cool.
contacts. What's crazy is her contacts were glowing yellow and red.
Yeah?
Like she was possessed by the dark side. Quite amazing.
Wow.
And in fact, she levitated into the barrel.
Using force energy.
It was pretty
That's
intense.
fantastic.
Look at this close up. Daft Punk got in the barrel rider. That is
Around
so
the world,
fun.
around the world, around the world, around the world. Okay, classic Daft Punk. Okay, everybody in the chat room, raise your hand if you think that Daft Punk got cheated out of an Oscar nomination for the score for Tron Legacy. The answer is yes, and all of you guys should be raising your hand right now. I didn't say they were going to win, but at least they should have gotten a freaking nomination. As well as Billy Boyd. He should have gotten a nomination as well.
The chat room says Merida would fit as a dwarf woman if she was in The Hobbit. I agree.
Oh my gosh. That's a brilliant connection. That's quite true. I think Merida is one of those Pixar characters who would fit in quite well in Middle-earth. Not just because her dad's Billy Connolly, but because, she was the first Tauriel. Wait, hold the phone.
Tauriel has a reddish hair.
Do you think that Tauriel was slightly inspired by Merida?
No,
from
Tauriel
Brave?
came first.
Tauriel came first?
Tauriel came first. So,
Really?
if anything, Disney was inspired by...
But wait, Tauriel hadn't even come out until a year and a half after.
Billy Connolly filmed his scenes before he recorded his voice for Brave.
Oh, then Tauriel did. Technically, Tauriel came first.
So-
but we just didn't see it until a year later. Because,
Remember, they filmed all the Hobbit movies at the
That's right,
same time.
That's right. I know because I was there on set. But
A
yes,
Tauriel Brave
indeed.
crossover would get all the points.
That would be
Yes,
super
please.
cool.
We want to see that at the next con. If you're coming to Dragon Con,
Tauriel Brave crossover.
Tauriel Brave crossover. This was fun.
That would be great. That would be great.
Let me before I show you this one, I just want to say this cosplay. There were a lot of it, and I think the recent news with Luke Evans, the recent news has inspired a whole new round of cosplay for this particular movie, and there were at least a dozen of this character and other characters from this movie. So I think
Beauty and the Beast. I mean, the live-action Beauty and the Beast that they're going to do.
Great spoiler.
Excuse me.
I was
sorry.
Can't you tell I was trying to be vague? Oh my god.
I was looking. I thought they were looking at it too.
So there were so many Bells, so many Gastons, so many.
There were lots of bells.
What was Gaston's assistant? Not Iago.
LeFou.
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 There were some LeFous.
Which is French for the fool.
Yeah.
LeFou. Hey.
And she had it going on because she had the perfect attitude for Belle, which is a little. I think she was a little clumsy, but yeah,
a little
like her father's daughter.
Yeah, a little clumsy, but very bright, but a little clumsy.
Yeah,
and very willing to please and to do the right thing. But this explains everything to me. Luke Evans is going to play Gaston. And
no one
all right.
has muscles like Gaston.
I love that song. It's very fun. Usually the Disney.
They better include that song.
Disney villains always get great musical numbers. Look at Ursula the Sea Witch. Look at
no one kills dragons like Gaston.
The Witch Doctor from
no one has sons like Gaston.
The Voodoo Witch Doctor from Princess and the Frog. He's got the best musical number hands down in a Disney film that I've seen in a long time. But wait a minute. Stop. Hold the
Belle
presses.
will totally be a female Bilbo.
That's funny. You could say there's an analogy there to that. Belle is more like a female Bilbo. But there were so many Belles in huge yellow ball gowns, like the big drape gown that looks like she's got this giant, what do you call that thing that balloons your skirt out into a bell shape when you're walking around in it? A hoop skirt or some kind of, the big thing. I didn't know that this was a fan reaction to the announcement about the live action film.
Huh. I've never seen so much Belle cosplay.
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
And now I know why.
Because the movie, Luke Evans has another hit on his hands. Well, you know what else we saw?
That's great. That's so
A
great.
bunch of gnomes. There's something. 2015 as gnomes are popular again. Like this wasn't the only gnome. There were a lot of gnomes. I don't know what's happening. Is there something on TV? Is there a gnome show on TV or something that I'm not watching? Because there were a lot of gnomes. I've never seen so many gnomes.
I haven't seen the Travelocity gnome in a long while, and
No, but there
were
were
a lot of gnomes.
lot of gnomes. I don't know.
Do you know what's funny? They're gonna do. Disney announced a live-action CGI remake of Winnie the Pooh, and you can file that under very bad
Did you
idea.
see Paddington?
No, I didn't see Paddington. Was it any good?
Did you see Ted?
Yeah, I saw Ted, and I was disappointed with it.
So exactly, no one saw Paddington, and people that saw Ted were like, eh. So
Yeah,
file that under.
yeah. File the live-action Winnie the Pooh under very bad idea.
The Travelocity gnome has been making a comeback. Is that why everybody's dressed up? Travelocity.
But wow, really?
Now this was my favorite barrel rider. It took a lot of talking because he was very nervous. He wouldn't do it. He kept like running away, and then we tried to get him to come back, and then he kept running away, and he would just argue with me. I'm like, dude, just get in the barrel. I just want a quick photo, and he just wouldn't take it. So finally, at the end of the second day, I think he was tired. His feet were tired, and I think I wore him down.
You're gonna love this.
He relented, and he finally jumped in the barrel.
This is
and
great.
this is my favorite photo.
Isn't that great?
R2D2 is the barrel rider.
That
And
is so wonderful.
that was the best mashup ever.
I think that is a prize-winning. This should go on Reddit, and this should catch fire. That should totally be on Reddit.
Oh, he was my favorite. He was my favorite.
Absolutely.
And look at this amazing. He called himself Badass Finn.
Whoa, he really is a badass Finn.
And the funny part is that
he's great.
He came to WonderCon on Friday with no costume, and it was so inspired by all the costume. Someone in the chat room is absolutely right. Sarah says that's R4. Yes.
You're right. It's R4.
Thank you for being a real nerd. If I said R4, I would have to go in a full explanation of
Sarah, you get extra points, Sarah,
extra
because
points.
he's a bigger Star Wars geek than he is any other level
But
of
I
geekdom.
just wanted to simplify it. I was just
You've been
simplifying it.
caught with your pants down, buddy. That was
Okay,
good.
back to Finn.
That was yes.
So he stained a blue
That was-
T-shirt. He bought the hat at
It's R4.
at WonderCon. He bought it. He bought this whole outfit at WonderCon. He bought the eye patch from someone. He bought the hat from someone else, and he bought the sword from someone else. And he bought the grenade around his neck.
The grenade around
from
his neck.
someone else.
But the
So-
tattoos and the beard were his own.
So this entire costume was made at WonderCon from scratch. It was amazing. That's the type of stuff that you get at WonderCon.
That's
You have
so great.
so many vendors. It's not just like T-shirts and fan sites and pop vinyl toys. It's like vendors that have all these different pieces that you can start piecing together and make an awesome, amazing cosplay right on the spot.
WonderCon encourages more cosplay because there's more room to breathe, and there's people can have a chance to go out to the front where there's a big fountain. And now here's before we get to that, you go ahead.
No,
You go ahead, go
I
ahead,
just
go
gotta
ahead.
say,
Go ahead.
Sarah, we gave you points, and I have to mention, because we're across the hall from Nerdist, points are an internet copyright by Nerdist Industries and Chris Hardwick. So thank you, Chris Hardwick. Internet points are on license from Nerdist Industries.
Okay, great. I just learned something new. Internet points are under license from Saul Zent's company. I mean, Nerdist. There you go, nerdist.com.
Did you see Chris Hardwick walking around with security? He had like two big burly security guards.
No, I didn't
He's
see him.
huge.
I didn't see him anywhere.
We see him all across the hall all the time, and when he goes to con, he has huge security guards. It's crazy.
Wow.
Who knew?
Wow, really?
You know what? One of the things that I really enjoyed about
security guards.
WonderCon this year is
Okay.
that we saw a lot of our friends here from Meltdown, and a lot of our friends, and they're hosting panels, and they have their own booths now. And I overheard a lot of conversations in lobbies of like, you really inspire me and stuff. Whether it was Satine Phoenix and her new Praetorians,
Yes.
or it was the Loot Crate guys,
Yeah.
or Geek and Sundry and Nerdist, yeah, and even some of our Torn staff. You know, Nancy and her T-shirt designs. It's really cool to be at a point where all of our friends are like the thought leaders. You know, we're the ones hosting the panels, and people are coming up to us even after our panel,
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
"Wow, you guys really get me!" Like finally, someone that understands. And it was wonderful seeing all these, preteen, teen, 20-somethings, get inspired by what we're doing, and we're just doing what we do. We don't really
That is
make
true.
money at it.
No, we've
We're
never
just doing it because we love it.
never made money.
And
but,
and most of those people at con, like we just sell stuff at our booth so we can cover the booth cost, because it costs like $1,000. So the fact
Indeed.
that we can keep doing what we're doing and inspire generation. I don't know. I just had a moment on Sunday where I was just like, wow, we're all like inspiring people, and it's kind of fulfilling.
That's going to be the subject of what I'm writing about, is how other people are inspired by the artists who came before them. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about.
It's kind of cool. Now
This
this
is very
guy,
cool.
this guy was amazing. Probably the most screen accurate cosplay of the whole con.
His Captain Jack Sparrow was
And you should see the
excellent.
vines. I didn't take a vine, but his friend did. He took the exact same vine of what Jack Sparrow does in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. The robot comes out of the barrel, looks around, dips down back in the barrel.
Yes.
Yeah, like he was doing exactly what you see on Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland.
I love it.
What about 30-somethings being inspired? How are we inspiring 30-somethings? Because I'm 30-something. Like I don't know. Like I just it's 30-somethings, 40-somethings. Do you get that? Do you get people of all ages coming up and saying you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, absolutely. The fact is that they always say the same thing. I wasn't paying attention to these stories until I got caught up in these movies, and then I thought, oh wow, this is so fascinating. And I've read them, and I've reread them, and I've reread them, and I read them every year. So you get a whole big surprise with not just the younglings, who are, before Anakin comes into the Jedi building and starts killing all the younglings. Oops, spoiler. You've got so many fans who love the act of discovery, the act of eureka. That when someone dives right on into Doctor Who and they start catching up with all the Doctor Who episodes, and then they start to realize that's what all the fans love so much about the show. You can dial back the clock to other great fandoms. Let's talk about.
But it's not even other fandoms. It's Tolkien.
Tolkien.
I mean, the interesting thing.
The same
that
as others.
A few people came up to us came up to me at least after the panel and said, I thought the Hobbit movies were pretty good. Not as great as Lord of the Rings, but pretty good. But yet, your panel made me see the movies in a new context, in a new light, and they wanted to go and rewatch them with this new perspective that we were giving. And I guess that's why people reread Tolkien every year. I mean, because you bring to it. You bring to these stories and these movies what your life experiences are. So, when you read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings when you're 13, you're going to get something different than when you reread it at 40 or 50.
Yes, that's right.
And that's part of the timelessness of these. And it's not just the books, it's the movies, too. You can rewatch the movies and get something totally different and be like, that clicks for me now. I understand that. I used to identify with this character. I'm more identifying with this, and that's your own personal life experience. And so that's what's interesting about doing the panel.
Professor Tolkien called that applicability, and that was why he went to great lengths to explain that he disliked allegory, if you will. And
why is the rum gone?
Yeah, but where has all the rum gone? Where Tolkien never believed it was the author's responsibility to be so ham-fisted as to tell the readers, oh, this is a metaphor for this political body, this is a metaphor for this, and he didn't feel that it was appropriate for the author to spoon-feed the readers a forced agenda of what people and situations are in the story to be analogous with real-world places and memes and ideologies. He thought that it being applicable to any grade, any generation throughout time would allow the story to live on its own terms and be reread by future generations with a different sense of how it applies to them from their own unique viewpoint, from their geopolitical viewpoint, where they are in time.
And I think this rule applies to. I think applicability applies to the movie-going public as a whole and society as a whole. And this is why I think, I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe can only exist right now and be successful right now because the society was prepared for it. We'd just gotten past 6 Star Wars movies, and then all the Lord of the Rings movies, and then Twilight, and 2 or 3 whole generations grew up with this idea of multiple film storytelling. So by the time Marvel came around and said, you know what, we're going to take this a step further. Instead of 3 movies, we're going to do 30. And it's all going to be the same universe.
Yeah.
And I think, and Josh Whedon and the Whedonopolis and that whole crew is, he's operating in the same universe. Same with Kevin Smith, his View Askew universe. He just announced, a new Mallrats, a new Clerks, a new,
Okay.
There's something, society,
how about that?
The movie-going public is ready for long-term, multiple movie, the long storytelling, and
serialized.
Serialized.
Now this is like going back to the 30s, where we really had our old Flash Gordon movies serialized.
And and that's why I think that everyone said this.
Fascinating.
Everyone up to now has said the Silmarillion is impossible. There's too much. It's too dense. It's not. Silmarillion wouldn't work as a film.
Well,
but
for one movie. Yes.
Well,
that
I
argument
think
would
we're
only
at
hold
the
true if it
point
was one movie.
That this movie-going public is ready for a Silmarillion series.
I'm
And
totally ready.
we talked about this on an earlier podcast where you could literally break it up into like a 7-movie series, and it would be coherent, and every movie would be action and love and
tragedy and epicness and
I agree. We
It'd be
couldn't
so
do
great.
it in the year 2000. We couldn't even do it in 2004 after Return of the King. I don't think the society, just as you bring something, you personally bring your own experiences back into Tolkien when you reread it. I think society as a whole, that also applies to society as a whole. And now the society is kind of ready for these long-term storytellings, it's time for the Silmarillion. I think we can do it. I think someone could do it.
I agree. Gosh, I agree 100%.
But maybe that's just the rum talking. Where has old the rum gone? I've got a jar of dirt. I've got a jar of dirt.
Did you read what I read on the Huffington Post, that he ad-libbed that scene where he was walking around on the boat with that big jar of dirt, and Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom had no idea how to react to Johnny Depp.
Want some Johnny Daniels?
I love this stuff. The honey Jack Daniels. Oh, this is my favorite new poison.
This gets us through every convention.
I love honey Jack Daniels. Meow.
See, this
meow,
is
meow.
what happens when we kick when the exhibition floor closes at 5:00. Every booth just pulls out their liquor cabinet, and it just becomes an exhibitor party. It's quite fun.
To answer our participants in the chat room, Esme, and yes, thank you, Ellen, for saying that right away. The Tolkien estate is actually still being managed by one of Professor Tolkien's 4 surviving children. I believe that Priscilla and Christopher are the only 2 Tolkien children alive. And Christopher, as we know, is the executor, the absolute holder of the Tolkien estate and all of his books. And of course, we're grateful to Christopher Tolkien because he gave us the Silmarillion
and extra books. The
History of Middle-earth series. There's 10 volumes of that.
Christopher Tolkien published more books than Tolkien.
Yes, he did, easily. Yes, by putting together, after his father's death, all these manuscripts and trying to reconcile half-written pieces of things that were less than half written. Professor Tolkien had a mess of notes, and he never caught up with what he was trying to catch up with, and he was distracted by his academic job at Oxford. It was a big mess. But Christopher Tolkien, he is a mixed blessing for the Tolkien fan community because A, he's the keeper of the flame and the one person who has brought us more Middle-earth books, more recently The Children of Húrin. Fantastic volume. You must get that. And at the other end of that spectrum, not only is he the great guardian and the protector and has brought us more posthumous volumes than we could ever hope for. But he's also too busy being a dragon guarding his treasure hoard. Christopher won't let the rights to the Silmarillion get out of the estate's clutches.
He's 90 years old, right?
Something like that.
Something.
I'll have to look it up.
And this relates to the super secret project that you're working on. Is that when you get up in years, you start looking at legacy, your own legacy, not just your father or your family.
That is correct.
And at some point you have to say, what is my legacy, and is my legacy going to be the last thing I approve?
Mm-hmm.
And if the last thing he approves at 90 years old is a half-baked Silmarillion television series on NBC,
half-baked,
there's something to be said about going out on top. And I think the Lord of the Rings winning all the Oscars, it deviated from the book, but there's the legacy lives on. The sales of Lord of the Rings books are bigger than ever, and there's something else. Speaking of,
remember her?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yes.
Speaking of legacy, I mean there's so many people that cosplay as many characters from many authors. I mean, check this out.
I love these two.
Very Seussian.
Very, very, very Seussian.
And we can officially see that two things fit in a barrel.
So cute. So cute. They're really adorable. I love the fact that Dr. Seuss had children's favorites, not just like high science fiction and high epic adventure franchises, but even kids' cartoons bring out the best in adult cosplay.
Yeah.
Like Extreme Finn from Adventure Time.
Yeah,
he was so great. Badass Finn.
So many wonderful. All the kids wanted to jump in the barrel together. I gotta say that.
That's really cute.
You hear horror stories when you watch Dateline NBC and broken families and single parents and kids hate each other and they hate school and whatever. But at WonderCon, there were so many families, full unit families, mother, father, kids, and the kids were best friends. They were BFFs. They were like, let's do everything together. Let's get in the barrel together. It was the brother wouldn't want to get in the barrel if the sister didn't want to. It was just kind of
really.
There's like there was something something noticeable that I haven't seen in a while.
I think it proves the old adage: the family that geeks together stays together. So.
Yes.
Yes.
Very much
so. The family that geeks out together stays together. Those kids were having a better time at our WonderCon booth than they were at Disneyland across the street.
Really?
And they were. I mean, I saw so many happy kids blowing their minds out over the custom lightsabers that were 20 yards away from us. And the artwork, they could even try some of the new video games that were there at the kiosks. And our friends from Nerdist and Geek and Sundry were there. They had so many great things to try and enticements.
We got
for the
people
kids.
in the chat room saying Ottawa Comic-Con, Richmond Comic-Con. I would love to do more Comic-Cons, but again, I can't afford to keep traveling all these places. Like I would be happy to fly up and do a panel and fly back the next day or something like that.
You know what? I have a picture of the Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian cosplayer. Did you get him? Did you get an Instagram of him? Well, don't mind me if I go over to the camera and show it, because our friends Richard Taylor and Weta did all the armor and weapons and the great designs for the Chronicles of Narnia films. So when you watch Prince Caspian, which is the best of them, of the three that they recently remade, this guy, he works for a business where they get movie props, originals, that are being thrown away by the production. After they're done filming those battle scenes.
And so he was wearing it.
And he's
amazing costume.
Wearing it not only to advertise his business, because he does a special boutique to resell
Everybody
these genuine
was wearing
movie props.
it with their own business. So many people had business cards.
It was perfect.
Even people that you didn't expect. Like, I thought you were just a fan, and then they're like, oh no, I get hired to do this.
I've got to show everyone this.
If you
this
go
is great.
to Larger Than Life Cosplay, and if you go to our Twitter account, you can see the photo that Cliff is talking about. Just go to TheOneRing.net on Twitter.
Here he is.
You can see a close up of the Prince Caspian
I'm gonna show you guys.
No,
right quick.
what are you doing?
Because it's
You know what?
fun.
I'm not gonna show it.
Yes, you are. Look at that. There you go, guys. Take a look at that. This is your Prince Caspian cosplay, and this is all the original Weta designs, and the bird, the bolt of the crossbow shoots out of the bird's mouth. These are designs of the what are the names of those guys?
I don't remember. This
This
was funny because this mom was
I know
going
the name.
around
I know the
taking
name.
all the pictures, and her kids were like, "Come on, mom!" Like they didn't want to take any photos. You know, she was the one that jumped in the barrel. Her kids didn't want to do it, and then she found us on Instagram. Look at her name, Silly Mom.
That's silly, mama.
And her kids actually called her that. Mom, that's so silly. Like they were genuinely like bummed out that they were at WonderCon. Like these two boys just wanted to go play baseball or something, and they're walking around WonderCon taking pictures with their mom in barrels, and they're like, "Mom, this is so silly. I don't want to be here." And her Twitter her Instagram handle is actually Silly Mom.
That's cute. That's
Talk
very
about
cute.
owning it.
That was the TheOneRings. That's the name. It was the race of human men in Prince Caspian. They were the TheOneRings, and they had that fantastic armor there on display. This is Kill Bill.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Kill Bill, Volume 1 or Volume 2? Well, with that yellow and black stripes, I think that would be Volume 1. Yes.
Look at this Minecraft dragon. So cool.
Is that what that is? A Minecraft dragon?
Someone in the chat room says Silverchair is starting to film. They're going to do another Narnia movie.
You're kidding.
The Silverchair was my favorite of the Narnia films.
Really? They're going to do a silver chair, and they've already filmed?
Look at our friends at High Voltage Mag. Were wearing buttons that said, "I am Smaug-locked."
Holy Toledo! I didn't know that they were going to do another live action.
You're having a moment right now.
Well, wait. I'm having a Narnia moment. I had no idea. Yes, thank you, the Telmarines. I got that. I got that message a little bit late. But
Tolkien Girl is going into Attack on Titan Soldier? Yes. Yes, do it. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love Attack on Titan.
So do I.
There were some really good Attack on Titans cosplay here, but
I didn't see a single one.
oh,
I love Attack on Titan
there were
as well.
a ton of them. I guess you didn't know what to look for. Like there were some amazing Attack on Titan.
I saw
the whole army was
Really?
there. Yeah,
There was a whole Titan arm. I love that.
Not the Titans, but the
army.
army.
The kids who are in the regiments.
Yeah.
And I have to remember their names. The names of the 3 inner rings of the city. We're getting a great series of messages
I've had
here.
so many debates with the staff here at Meltdown Comics, especially Holly, because I watch Attack on Titan on television. It's a dub.
Mhm.
It's an American dub. You hear American voices
On Netflix, it is the English dub. Yes.
on a Japanese show. And,
Yes.
And she says that's the wrong way to watch it.
Really?
No respect for me because I watched the dub version. You have to watch the sub version, the subtitled.
Yes. The original language.
In the Japanese language with the typed words at the bottom. She's like, that's the only way to fully appreciate what's going on. I'm like, no, like subs sound good.
Hold on. I have to correct my record.
Dub or sub?
Netflix is where I watched all of my episodes of Attack on Titan, and they were original Japanese language.
Yeah.
And they were subtitled, which is nice, because the last time I tried to watch something on Netflix that was an anime, it was only in Japanese without any subtitles at all. And that was a great film, Tokyo Godfathers, which is a wonderful movie.
I will say this about the dubbed version.
Where did you see the dubbed version?
On Adult Swim on Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay. I saw the Japanese
will say
version.
The thing I don't like about the dubbed version is that the main kid, the main blonde-haired kid, he is so whiny. His voice grinds my gears. He's so whiny. Everything he says
Thank you, Peter
is
Griffin.
like everything he says is just, oh my God. Ah,
Really? The English
it's
voice?
the end of the world. Oh, we got a call on the hotline.
Looks like we do. We've got lots of great text messages coming on the hotline, and now we have a live caller. Hello there. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Hey, honey. How you doing?
I'm good.
Where are you calling from?
Canada, this is Tolkien Girl.
Hi.
Tolkien Girl.
I thought I recognized that voice. How are you?
I'm good.
You doing good?
So tell us about your cosplay.
excited to be doing that. It's going to be so much fun. I've got the costume and everything ready to go. I've just got to finish making the gear.
Oh, Hale, you're getting ready for the Ottawa Comic-Con, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, super cool. Is that coming up this weekend?
No, it's the second weekend in May.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. That's right around the corner.
So
then.
what inspired you to cosplay this? Is this your first cosplay?
Well, yeah, it is my first cosplay, and also Attack on Titan is the first anime I got into.
Yeah.
And I was going to go. I actually went with my boyfriend for Halloween as a Survey Corps soldier, but I didn't have the costume because at sea and shipping. But I bought it now, so I'm so excited.
I would be too.
Sounds like it.
If this is your first time ever doing cosplay at a convention, it's very exciting.
Are you going to, as part of a meetup group? Is there a full a Titan meetup group that is going to do like a big photo?
I don't know, because I was at, we have this small thing, Geek Market, a couple weeks before Comic-Con, and that was 2 weekends ago, and we went, my boyfriend, my dad, my younger brother and I, we went, and there were 2 people dressed up as Mikasa and Armin, and they looked awesome.
Oh
they
my
looked a lot
gosh.
better than I did. But I couldn't get a picture with them because they kept moving around and I couldn't find them again.
That's what happens when you're with a popular cosplay. You're going to be moving around a lot.
I tell you what happened at WonderCon, and it also happens at DragonCon. That big meetups, big photo meetups, are usually scheduled through Facebook. There's usually a Facebook event for Game of Thrones photo meetup WonderCon, or Attack on Titan photo meetup Ottawa.
Oh, I should try that.
Yeah, look for that, because that's what happens. And then at WonderCon on Saturday, it was made through Facebook, and then 62 people showed up.
62?
In Game of
incredible.
Thrones.
That's crazy.
And they all take a photo together, and all the photographers, all the cosplay photographers come, and they do the big group photo, and then they spend like a half hour all taking individual photos and different pairings,
Nice.
these 2 characters, that 2 characters, blah blah blah. So I would try to, if you're gonna do an Attack on Titan cosplay, I would try to find an Attack on Titan cosplay group.
Of course.
On Facebook.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing.
They the last time we went to Stan Lee's Kamikaze here at the Los Angeles Convention Center, they had organized, look at this, see Justin, the entire DC group.
Yeah.
And judging from the portrait I'm looking at right now, the number of participants was about it looks like about 45 or 55 people, all exclusively DC characters, and they took over the entire main lobby of the convention center.
Incredible.
So yeah, they do these quick organization things right on the book face. I'm sure you can find someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see you at a convention soon enough. I would love to see your cosplay for Attack on Titan.
We'd love to have you down here in Ottawa.
I would love to. Maybe I should look further into it.
We would love that. Well, if we don't do it this year, we're going to plan for it next year.
Okay.
Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
That's so great to have you. Thanks, son. And good luck with the cosplay. Get some good photos for us, okay?
Thanks. Have a great week, you guys.
You
too.
too. Fantastic.
That was Tolkien Girl. And
That
check
is Tolkien Girl.
Check
Thank
out
you.
this cosplay. It took me a moment to fully appreciate what's going on.
Ratatouille.
But look what's on his head.
That's a reference to Brad Bird's wonderful movie, Ratatouille.
He had
that he did with Pixar.
motorized arms. The rat was moving.
Yeah, he should. The rat is supposed to be moving.
The rat had motorized arms.
Is that how he built that, with motorized
Yeah.
arms? That's clever. That's so cool.
So he was walking
So
around with
cool.
a rat on his head.
I love Brad Bird, man. He's a genius of the American animation scene.
I had barrels full of Batman.
Barrels full of bats in your barrels.
I had bats in my barrels.
You did. This is so funny. Somebody in the chat room had just said, what did they just say a second ago? That, did you know that in the very first Chronicles of Narnia movie, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that Jinnabrick is played by Kieran Shaw. And yes, we loved talking.
Yeah.
We had a great interview with Kieran Shaw.
We did.
We talked with him right here on Torn Tuesday, and we have this great picture of him in his Narnia costume. Our very own Kieran Shaw, who replaced Elijah Wood in many shots. Oh, look at this kid, so happy.
Like with the mithril.
What, doesn't he remind you of the little boy in Helm's Deep who gets handed that helmet and that?
That's what. Look at my caption. This is a good sword. Because that's what Aragorn says. Like,
that is
he
so
totally
great.
reminded me of that kid.
Yeah,
in
he
Two Towers.
He looks
at
just like that.
Helm's Deep.
I think he was supposed to be that kid in Two Towers. Pete, welcome, Pete
Okay,
Northrunner.
now look at this.
Good to have Pete in the chat room. Very nice. Holy Toledo,
my feet hurt looking at this.
that's kind of brilliant.
My feet hurt looking at this.
That
though.
is all kinds of brilliant. Do you know why? Because it makes the Eye of Sauron right in the middle, in between the ring verse, by looking at the crack in between the 2 feet. Take a close look.
The crack of feet.
The crack of doom. I mean, the crack of feet.
A
Isn't
lot
that
of the
clever?
A lot of the comments are like, "Are those Gollum feet?" Like her toes were out, but she was wearing sandals, so she was showing off the tattoo. That's amazing, though.
It really is amazing.
And it looks like it hurt. Like I can't even think.
What's even funny is that one of the commenters said, "I hate feet. They're so disgusting." But does that mean you don't like your own feet? I tell you what, you better be nice to your own feet and treat your feet well, even if you think they're disgusting. I think feet are wonderful, and when mine hurt, I treat them to a nice bath with Epsom salts and hot water. Got to take care of your feet, boys and girls. And
No, super feet. I wear super feet. My convention secret is super feet.
what are super feet?
Super feet.
What are super feet?
Let me show you.
Oh, he's going to show me super feet?
Super feet.
Is this an insert?
Insert,
Yeah?
and it's always
Always.
green.
Always green. Super feet.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Super feet.
So,
They're called super feet.
and they're better than Dr. Scholl's.
You know who turned me on to these are all the motocross riders
Yeah?
and in the metal militia, and they're always riding their motocross and they got the big boots on and stuff. And they
Yeah.
said they survive by walking around in big boots with super feet. And sure enough, now I go to
I gotta find
now I
some.
go to the drugstore and they're in like the Dr. Scholl next to the Dr. Scholl. Super feet, better than Dr. Scholl's, better than anything else.
Okay.
They get me through every con. I was standing on my feet all day with that booth.
For 3 days.
No chairs.
Yes.
We just had the barrel and people were climbing up. So I was always on my feet and,
Yes, sir.
and super feet. And I'm totally not sponsored by them, but that's my secret. I'm always super feet.
That's just a nice consumer endorsement. Ladies and gentlemen, he loves that product. Super feet. I wonder if Hobbit feet can be compatible with super feet. Is this? This is so cute. They had a little rain cloud on top
A
of...
little rain cloud.
A little rain cloud on top of the umbrella. You had a very popular barrel through the weekend, didn't you?
And look at that sign from One Last Party from Puckworks. Follow him at Puckworks. He's a New York Tolkien graffiti artist, and he did that One Last Party Gollum sign, which is amazing. People were taking pictures of the poster of his poster. It was quite fun.
This is so funny. So funny. The Minecraft influence.
This
still,
is Super Mario.
The Minecraft people and that whole wave of Minecraft stuff. Don't you think it's influenced by Super Mario and the 8-bit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, the resurgence of 8-bit iconography in video games and all that Minecraft stuff is not just nostalgia, because we are the first generation of video gamers who had those 8-bit Game Boys, before it became a Game Boy Advance. We had all that. It was original. But that Super Mario block, that was very cute. It was very cute.
This was the first Bilbo cosplay to stop by the booth, and it was quite wonderful. She had custom dyed the vest to get that to get the right color. That's
great.
That's what I need for because I finally got the jacket.
The jacket
now
is
I
right.
just need a good vest.
I want that patchwork bathrobe. There's nothing more that I want for my Bilbo cosplay than that unbelievable, really, really cool patchwork bathrobe, because that would be the best Bilbo cosplay ever. I've got to get my hands on, or make one. I better start this year, and I'll get ready for next year, because it'll take that long to make it.
Look at this. Harley Quinn had an amazing weapon. Amazing weapon.
Look at that.
She is a barrel rider.
She sure is. What a great Harley Quinn. You know, of all DC female characters, you see more Harley Quinns than you do any other female character.
It's so good.
More than Black Canary, more than Batgirl, more than Supergirl, more than Oracle, more than any other, more than Wonder Woman. By far, you'd see more Harley Quinns than you see Diana, the Amazon princess.
Yeah.
Who is Wonder Woman. Isn't it true?
Because she has so much
It's
attitude.
so true.
She had so much attitude in the cartoon.
Yeah, and it's such a fun character to play.
And she just is a fun character.
Do you think when Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice comes out, we might see a few more Wonder Woman cosplay?
I think so.
I mean, a few more?
I think so, for sure.
Yeah?
There weren't a lot. There were a couple Supermans, but no other characters from Superman. Definitely no
Yeah.
other dudes.
I didn't see any Brainiacs. I didn't see any Lex Luthors. And I didn't see any Jor-El or Kal-El. I didn't.
Yeah. None of that. We just got a text message saying, Justin and Cliff, if you had to cosplay as any Middle-earth character, who would it be and why?
Oh,
well,
I know my answer.
I've got the jacket, but I've also got a hat and the mustache. I'm trying to get a Beaufort mustache. And if you watch a recent episode of Happy Hobbit, it became the Beaufort show. So I don't know. I identify with Beaufort because in the movies he's always about where's Bilbo. He's always looking after Bilbo. He's always the guy that doesn't want to seem like he wants to seem cool and hard, but he can lead a song, and he's always actually maybe secretly looking out for Bilbo. And that's the one of the major things I missed about Battle of Five Armies, where's Bilbo moment of, like I wanted to see it after Bilbo put the ring on and disappeared. I wanted Beaufort to somewhere say, hey, where's Bilbo? Or after he gets knocked out or something. Like,
yep.
I kind of wanted to feel a moment with Beaufort, and Beaufort got no love. Was there anything in Battle of Five Armies that Beaufort did?
Nope.
Can you remember anything that Beaufort did in Battle of Five Armies?
Nope. I don't even remember him having. I don't remember James Nesbitt having any dialogue.
Zero.
In Battle of the Five Armies. Can you hear the rain? Can you hear the rain pounding on the roof?
Oh, I thought you were singing a song.
No. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory. Everybody loves Eurythmics, and nobody loves Annie Lennox as much as I do.
I'm only happy when it rains.
I like that song too, Garbage. I like Eurythmics.
Shirley Manson.
Eurythmics better than Garbage, though, any day of the week. Hey, the reason why I'm taking note of the rain is because California, as we know, is suffering now through its fourth long year of severe drought. And this rain that we're having now in April is a pleasant, wonderful surprise. We really need this rain. And
Sarah says
every
my
little bit
first
helps.
cosplay was Wonder Woman when I was 5.
Really?
That's great. You're about to get a new Wonder Woman.
Tolkien girl, you'd like to know what my cosplay would be?
Well, he was in an Air New Zealand video as a wizard.
As Gandalf.
You're actually on camera as a cosplayer.
I've been a cosplayer, but I've always been Gandalf the Grey. When I did that parody film with Vic Mignogna called The Fellowship of the Todd, I was dressed as Gandalf the Grey, and I did the whole shtick.
But you were also a Gondorian soldier in Return of the King.
When I was literally a background extra in Return of the King, I was one of the soldiers of Minas Tirith, standing on the wall above the Pelennor, watching Faramir and his men leave the city walls in the chapter The Sacrifice of Faramir. That's where you can find me. But if I had a choice, I don't want to be Gandalf anymore. I've done it twice. I did it for Air New Zealand, and I did it for Vic Mignogna. And I've done it for myself at least once. I think if I want to do cosplay for Middle-earth, I want to be an Ent. And I want to be up on stilts. I want to have the whole apparatus.
Really?
I want to go to a stage actors training class where they teach you how to properly handle and walk around on your stilts. So first I want to master the craft of being a performer on stilts, and I want to be in a very elaborate Ent costume, but I won't be Treebeard we'll make a version of Quick Beam. And I'm going to get our friend Daniel Falconer, our friends from Weta, and we'll design it and we'll build it together. That's what we're going to do. That would be the ultimate cosplay for me. It would be so brilliant. Don't you think?
Yes, and you know,
I'd love it.
If you find some of these old cosplay photos that you guys have, tweet and Instagram at us. Tag us in your Instagram photo and hashtag #TheOneRingNet or hashtag Barrel Rider and hashtag Vote Bilbo MTV. You know, I think there's something up with our Vote Bilbo MTV because we know that we got tens and hundreds of thousands of tweets and retweets, and we're still not beating Star-Lord. So something's going on with that Vote Bilbo thing. And I also noticed on the very first day that they opened the competition, the Twitter competition, on the very first day, some dude character that I never heard about got 1 million votes on the first day.
Oh, that's an obvious break in the system. That's obviously...
And then Katniss and Divergent Girl got like 300,000 each.
That's a mess.
That I can understand. But we had the armies of Vote Bilbo, and for some reason, like, I was tracking the number of tweets and retweets that just the One Ring was getting, and it wasn't matching up to the numbers that Bilbo was getting. So I don't know.
So are we trying to angle for another big win like we did 2 years ago?
Well, this is the only week to do it. This is the last week. The show is on, I think, on Sunday. This Sunday.
Really?
So.
Oh, so then well, we were
Vote Bilbo.
It was so anticlimactic when we found out who was the winner. We just had this girl in the backstage area at the control room of MTV saying, "Oh, and the winner is Bilbo." That's it. Cut to commercial. There was no fanfare and there was no award given, and it was very anticlimactic. And you know what? I think Ringer fans felt a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Emily's calling. Emily. Emily's on Skype. Hey there, Emily. How are you?
Turn it up.
Let's see. I don't think... Hello, dear. Hello. There you are. We can see you. Hi. How are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Going back to earlier on, I was and about people in the live action of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I heard Emma Thompson was going to possibly be playing Miss Potts.
Oh, Emma Thompson as Mrs. Potts? That sounds pretty cool.
That would be fun.
The thing I'm most interested in, besides casting announcements, is who's directing? Who is making this?
Ooh, I really don't know.
Well, our dear friend, our Shakespearean master, Kenneth Branagh, has a big hit on his hands with Cinderella.
I didn't even know that he directed that movie.
He's been directing a lot of things. Kenneth Branagh has been behind the camera for almost 15 years now, instead of his usual stuff in front of the camera. He's totally turned into Mr. Director Man. Kenneth Branagh. I mean, you know Thor?
Branagh.
How do you say it, ladies and gentlemen? How do you say Kenneth
Well, they
Branagh's
never
last
even
name?
announced it.
Didn't he direct Thor 2?
Are you cosplaying this year, Emily?
If I can get the money, I'd hopefully like to cosplay.
That'd be great.
Well, you don't need money, you just need creativity.
If I... like the creative writing group I'm with are doing a performance of The Wizard of Oz, and we're just writing the script at the moment. But if I do play Dorothy, I'm hopefully going to get myself a Dorothy costume and use that as cosplay.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
That does sound wonderful. That really does. Traditional, like, or any revisionist take on Dorothy, or traditional Dorothy?
Film Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy Gale, classic,
Yeah.
Judy Garland all the way.
Yeah.
All right, I love it.
Oh, did you hear Hugh Jackman will be quitting as Wolverine after his next movie?
Yeah,
Yep.
about time.
Yep, he's going to be doing Wolverine one last time, and then that's it. And who's...
Oh, I was so sad to hear it.
He's the best Wolverine. He really is the best.
No, they need a
Yeah.
change.
Oh,
Well,
just in a tribute to last week in your thing saying about Loot Crate, I looked up and apparently there's one called in the UK called My Geek Box, and as soon as I get a job, I'm signing up.
All right.
Awesome.
Really? My Geek Box.
super cool.
That's awesome.
Super cool.
That's very awesome.
Well, thanks for calling in today, Emily.
Yeah. Oh, and I heard about them making another Narnia movie, but I did not know they'd started making it.
So it looks like they're going to continue making these Narnia movies in the publishing order, not that terrible revisionist chronological order of the stories, which puts the Magician's Nephew as first.
Rights.
Well, the rights issues are unknown to me. I'm very curious to find out. It was Walden Media that previously had the rights, but after the third and biggest commercial flop of Voyage of the Dawn Treader, they decided they weren't going to make any more, and that was it. And
What I heard was apparently they had the rights for a certain length of time.
indeed,
And the contract ran out, and they hadn't managed to renew the rights. So I think if they've managed to renew the rights, awesome, because I love them and I can't wait for more movies.
yeah, I actually loved the first two very much. I thought that Andrew Adamson, who was the director of Shrek, he did a very, very good job on the first two films. I don't know who directed the third film, but it was a mess. That's just one geek's opinion. Yeah, I know a lot of people liked it. Yeah, I know.
I love Aragon, and that was quite split.
Yeah. Well,
But I hear that I signed the petition the other week for get us another Aragon movie.
Aragon. Oh gosh. Oh, I remember that. Well,
Or reboot it or something.
or reboot it or something. Maybe a television series would be appropriate for Aragon.
I think it was whether people didn't know it was a thing of saying either give us the next one or remake the first one, but whatever it is, we want more movies. But so it was sign the petition to get it running again.
And I think that petition is still active. I think people can still put their
Yeah.
name on it.
It's great when fans mobilize,
Look
isn't
for
it?
Aragon, Eragon.
Yeah, not to be confused with Aragorn. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good stuff.
Everyone wants it redone. Well, thanks for calling in, Emily.
Thanks, Emily, my dear. We're going to say goodbye to you. Bye for now. And we'll talk to you probably next week. Okay, bye.
You know, people in the chat room are mentioning Guillermo del Toro and all the wonderful projects, Pacific Rim 2. The big news about Guillermo del Toro, he is directing some episodes of Hannibal, the best TV show on TV, which happens to be on NBC. Hannibal is the best show on TV. It's like if Stanley Kubrick did a television show, it is Hannibal. And if you can get past the goriness,
You're a big
amazing.
big fan. You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro doing Hannibal.
Are they in their
It's
third season
perfect.
now?
I think this is their third season.
Going into their third season.
And it's not like a cable season. It's a full television season, 24 episodes.
Primetime network television.
Yeah.
And
It's awesome.
Is it surprising the extent that they go with the story and some of the grotesque elements that they have?
Well, they're deviating from the book under the blessing of the author. I think Thomas Harris, did them.
Was it Thomas Harris? Yes.
But he's signed
Yes.
off on it, and they're deviating from the books a lot, just to make it good. And it really works. And speaking of books, this is one of the things we talked about in our panel on Sunday. Was Peter Jackson's deviations, which, he went on the record saying this will probably get me struck off the One Ring party list, but I'm enjoying deviating from the book. And the biggest deviation from the book, of course, was the death of Keely and Feely.
Yes.
And funny, people in the room started chuckling, and then we're like, what is everybody laughing at? And like, Thorin has a halo over his head.
Yes, there's Thorin's halo, that magical halo.
But was it a satisfying conclusion? Was Keely and Feely's death a satisfying conclusion? Overwhelmingly, no.
Not necessarily.
Those guys are supposed to be dying back to back.
Professor Tolkien describes it in one brief sentence, but it's very powerful. He says that Keely and Feely died defending their uncle with body and shield.
And that didn't happen.
That was it. I mean, Professor Tolkien gave us enough of a visual to think that poor Thorin being overwhelmed on the field of battle, that the two young lads who were his sister's sons, that they would come straight to his help, to his aid,
And we didn't get
die
any of
body and shield trying to protect him.
But what
we didn't get that.
But what we did know and what our panel was about, again, we were in the biggest room that this convention had, the biggest room at WonderCon, 300 AB. It was, 1,000 seats. And we were talking about what we know they filmed, and what may be in the extended edition. We know that they filmed a lot more with Keely and Feely, and you get whispers of that when you start to see the flames come up the things, and it's kind of an abrupt cut when you see the brothers split. It's like, you go that way, I'll go this way, and then next thing you know, Azog's holding him above the thing. There's a whole battle scene where the battles duke it out to the death.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So we're looking forward to that in the extended edition of The Hobbit, because
very much looking forward to that.
That needs to be rescued. The whole Feely and Keely death needs to be rescued.
Indeed it does.
Also, what else needs to be rescued, and we know they filmed this, and people in the room were quite surprised to see this.
You surprised me.
I surprised you?
Yes. The title card here should say the end of the line of Durin. To be proper, that should say the end of the line of Durin.
You had never seen these female dwarves.
No, these are dwarves coming to attend the funeral.
They're in a funeral procession. That's a female dwarf on camera, full makeup, a little bit of a beard.
Yes, so blown away.
Deal.
I'd never seen this, and this is from the production diaries.
Yeah, and then we showed this picture, and we actually dimmed the lights and projected on the big screen.
I did. I asked the guy to dim the lights so everyone could see it better. Yes.
This is the funeral of scene. And you can see the three caskets on the.
There's Beorn on the far left.
You see Beorn on the left.
Yes.
You see Gandalf and Radagast.
There they are.
And is Radagast holding his own staff, or is Gandalf holding his staff? It looks like
unknown.
It looks either or. It looks like Radagast could still have his own staff.
And there's Balin, and there's Dwalin. I see some of the surviving members of the traveling company of Thorin Oakenshield. There they are in the lower left corner. Gosh, I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that.
And so, we were just talking about that. What did we miss? What did Peter Jackson cut out of the theatrical version? He cut out the entire funeral scene of the Line of Durin, which includes resolution of the Arkenstone, resolution of the Thranduil's jewels,
yes,
resolution of Beorn's place in the world,
yes,
resolution of Gandalf and Radagast's staff and their relationship,
the Gandagast staff,
and
as they call it.
It basically, the funeral is the resolution, is like the ending of the story of The Hobbit. Like how it's so important. How could he cut that out? It circles back. It concludes every character's story.
Indeed.
At the funeral. Why did he cut that out?
I'm not so sure, but my first instinct is that he wanted to refocus on Bilbo. So instead of doing lots and lots of all this stuff about Thorin and the dwarves, I think that he may have been listening to some of the fan commentary, or maybe Peter's actually been listening to us. And all where we say on TheOneRing.net, oh, isn't this movie supposed to be about Bilbo? And so he just decided to skip all that, and he went right to Bilbo's farewell, so we could feel the emotional punch of Bilbo saying goodbye to Balin at the gate of Erebor.
Yeah, but it just felt rushed and cut.
It did. Admittedly, it did feel like there was a lot of stuff missing, especially the fact that we know Orcrist and the Arkenstone are laid on top of Thorin's grave. Really wanted to see that.
I had no idea. As someone
really
that hasn't read the book, I have no idea about that. And then we closed our panel. We closed our panel with a discussion about the fan edits.
That's M. Freeman.
That's M. Freeman as
That's
Bilbo Baggins.
M. Freeman.
So there's there's multiple fan edits happening, and there's a big debate of whether it's valid and legal to make a fan edit. And the short answer is yes, you can do it. It's the face of fandom. That's what fans are doing. There's a dwarfed edition, which is a 4-hour single film. There's a Tolkien edit, which it only includes stuff in the book. If it's not in the book, it's not in the movie.
That's right.
So
That's
a
right.
lot of stuff is cut out, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All of Radagast and his bunnies, all of Toriel, all of Legolas,
All the diversions down to Dol Guldur.
everything
Yep.
is not in the movie. It's you know, it tries to do something. I don't think it succeeds. And then there's the official Hobbit cut, which is the entire story and the entire trilogy from Bilbo's point of view.
Only.
It's only Bilbo. It's all Bilbo. Bilbo's in almost every shot and every scene.
And you don't even get that flashback where Balin tells the story of the Battle of Azanulbazar.
Because Bilbo's not in it.
Because
This
it's
is
not Bilbo's
Bilbo's
point of view.
story.
However, it's interesting because Bilbo is the one who asks the question about Azog.
Yeah.
It's Bilbo who wants to hear that story about how the battle of the dwarves and the orcs became such a primary moment of anger and vexation between the races, and a few other secrets we've learned.
Yes.
You did surprise me with that picture in the conversation. I had never seen it before.
And it was wonderful to see. The audience was so engaged with us. Like, I wasn't expecting a room that big, and then let alone to be so engaged, and then to come up to us after
Yeah.
the panel and saying, I learned
Yep.
something new.
That was
Like,
really cool.
I feel I don't know. Like,
That was
well,
really
we do
cool.
this show every week, and it's so wonderful to actually connect with people face to face.
It is.
And this is why the One Ring. This is why we do it. This is why we help out with the One Ring. This is our kind of volunteer effort to do these conventions.
Question on the text hotline. Where are you getting those funeral pictures?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Ha 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 ha!
We'll see you at San Diego Comic-Con.
That's brilliant. That's so brilliant. Okay, can't wait for extended edition. Does it come out November-ish? We have an actual date.
November 2nd.
No, here in North America and Canada, Region 1 DVDs, November 2. That's November 2nd. Novembre 2.
That's right. So, well, we had a great time at San Diego WonderCon.
At Anaheim's WonderCon.
Anaheim's final WonderCon.
Well, no, just 1 year as a detour to LA.
Nope, multi-year deal.
I didn't hear that. I heard that they're going to go right back in 2017, right back to Anaheim.
They've got
From multiple sources.
and
Really? Is there
told-
confusion?
They told me directly.
They told you directly?
The head of WonderCon came to our booth and said, "Hey, we really would like you guys to come. Could you do LA for a couple years?"
Yes.
So,
Okay, great.
So WonderCon will be at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Yes.
At this weekend, this same weekend next year.
Easter weekend next year.
Easter weekend
in 2016.
in Los Angeles. It's going to be bigger than ever. Plenty of parking.
It's a big
more
space.
cosplay. It's going to be super fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to see. Hopefully we can
gonna be
do
great.
something wonderful.
We'll have a lot more people who'll be able to attend from our LA chapter, and the Tolkien Forever group might join us. We'll put together something grand, but it'll be next year for WonderCon.
We don't know about Dis or any other characters. We don't know who's going to be in it. So
I
so
wonder.
we're looking at conventions this year. We're looking at possibly Phoenix, Denver. What else? New York, Dragon Con, San Diego, C2E2.
C2E2 in Chicago,
Um,
right? My old stomping grounds.
Yeah. So
And
that's
Dragon
5
Con,
more.
the ultimate prize at the end of the calendar year. Dragon Con in Atlanta. So exciting.
So exciting. So thank you for joining us on this recap of WonderCon 2015.
Before we leave, I want to say congratulations to a certain couple of fans out there who now have a baby on the way and they're getting married in July. They've been long time audience members of our show, and they have supported us at Torn Tuesday for more than a couple of years. Our friend Neil from Brighter Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Brighter Moon, all the way from London, has...
We're getting one last
Well,
call.
I was actually going to use my phone to get onto my Twitter account because I need to look up the names of the people I'm talking about.
Who's calling?
Anyways, I want to say thank you for asking me to officiate your wedding. I am very, very thrilled.
Humble brag.
I'm very humble brag, but the fact that you would ask me to come and officiate your wedding in July, it's terribly exciting. I can't wait to do this, and I hope that we can figure it all out very, very soon. The people I'm talking about, of course, are Brighter Moon and Running Hobbit. Hello, guys. I'll talk to you a little bit later. I don't know if you're live in the chat right now, but hello, Brighter Moon and Running Hobbit. Thank you for the invite to officiate your wedding, and I'm so thrilled for both of you. And, okay, hey, somebody was just trying to call us and say goodnight. Was that a call coming in on the hotline just now?
I don't know. No one said hello.
Nobody said hello,
So
but
we're gonna let the music play us out. Thank you for joining us for Torn Tuesday. You can watch every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific at theonering.net/live. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Next week we'll be live from Las Vegas. And you know who lives in Las Vegas? The Hillywood Show.
next week you're going to be in Las Vegas?
Absolutely.
Really? That's exciting.
Yes. So we'll be live from Las Vegas for a special Vegas episode of Torn Tuesday.
That'll be fun.
We'll check in with you and see what's going on up in the highlands of the desert.
Fabulous.
Till next time.
Talk to you later. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Oh, hey, are we still live? Hey there. It's TheOneRing.net, Torn Tuesday. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, this is weird. I'm watching you live, but you're not on the phone. At least that's what it looks like.
That's right. Well, we're just about to sign off. In fact, Justin and I just did our sign off, and I just grabbed the phone.
So this is delayed like a couple seconds.
Of course, it's quite delayed, but you'll have to lower the volume.
This is only just happening because it's just ending.
Yep, it's just ending. Our show is ending.
Okay.
The only way this is going to work, if you'd like to help us say goodnight, you'll have to lower the volume on your computer monitor, and let's give the fine folks at home a fond farewell in Grand Hobbit style. Can we do that, sir?
Turn down what volume?
Turn down the volume on your computer so that what you're listening to is only my voice on the phone with you, and just say join me as we say goodnight to everybody.
Yeah, whatever you're saying is only coming out of my headphones, so that's fine.
All right, perfect. That's even better. All right. So, hi, welcome to the show, and I hate to say hello and goodbye like a Beatles song, but we're saying goodnight right now.
Good night.
Yes, good night. Thank you. That's what we're looking. Any other last messages to the crowd before you sign off?
I think I might call back next week if I get a chance to catch live, because over the past couple weeks, there's a couple things that you guys have talked about discussing in movies, and I've got some interesting thoughts, I think.
Oh, please do. Join us. Next week, Justin's going to be broadcasting a special episode from Las Vegas. So definitely call in next week before 6:30, because we